Welcome. What a pleasure it is to be back tonight, Melbourne Victory members and fans. It's Victory TV, the second edition. Another youthful Melbourne Victory lineup this evening. We'll bring you all the team news shortly from Bankwest Stadium. Good evening and welcome. Michael Zappone is my name, your host. I'm joined by Michael Theo, two-time A-League Championship winner with the Melbourne Victory and 3 times with the Brisbane Roar, 5 times in total. They should rename this clash the Michael Theo Cup, shouldn't they?
Not bad, actually. Well, did play for both Zappone and won a couple of titles, but no, it's really looking forward to tonight's game. It's a massive game, obviously, both my old teams.
Yeah, we thank our partners once again, Metricon Homes, a fantastic supporter of the club. And tonight's match day is brought to you by Barry Plant Real Estate. Some exciting news around them shortly, Michael. But the boys have moved out of quarantine. They're in Coogee now. That must help with the day-to-day, getting through that camp environment. Yeah,
definitely. We touched on the last episode about the mindset and how difficult it has been for the playing group, but no excuses now. They've out at Coogee by the beach, a lovely hotel. It's definitely helped settle them, and they're going to be staying there for the next couple of weeks. Before we get started
into the show tonight, I'd love you all to get involved in tonight's show. And thanks to Barry Plant, we've got $100 to give away to the 2 best questions we receive on Twitter tonight. So get onto the hashtag MVFC. Send some questions in for Michael Theo. And towards the end of the show tonight, we'll read the 2 best questions out. And those 2 questions, as chosen by Michael, get $100.
Sounds good to me, Zappa.
Not bad.
Get tweeting.
11 consecutive days of A-League action kicks off tonight. We look forward to bringing you all the preview this evening. But before we get stuck into tonight's preview, some big news during the week, and bittersweet news, Michael. One of your fellow goalkeepers leaving the club in Lawrence Thomas. My enduring memory of him, 2018 grand final against Newcastle. Bandaged up, he won the Joe Marsden medal, an almighty effort.
It was. He's such a brave goalkeeper. He uses confidence and calmness, and I'll tell you what, he's been fantastic for Melbourne Victory. 9 years at the club, so it is bittersweet. Obviously, he's got plenty of fond memories, and to his credit, he's always had ambitions to play overseas, Zappa, so we wish him well, and who knows, you never say never. He might come back one day and represent the club, but as far as I'm concerned, I remember he made his debut, and it was against Brisbane Roar, and you could see Ante Kovic got sent off in the second minute, and he was so eager. He sprinted on to want to get in goals, and he's been fantastic whenever he's been called upon.
Yeah, we saw him last week, and thanks to Barry Plant, let's find out a little bit more about Melbourne Victory's #1 tonight.
Being a goalkeeper is only one position, so it's very rarely that if you don't start the match, you're going to get any minutes. So, yeah, me and Loz, we worked together for the past sort of 4 years now. So, yeah, obviously he's sort of moved on. Like I said, that presents a great opportunity for myself. We've got sort of 4 games now where I can really try and cement my place in the team going forward, and yeah, that's something that I'm working really hard on doing. In terms of the mental side of it, it's a weird feeling being a backup goalkeeper because you know, you're obviously there for it all, but you don't really get to feel, you know, the highs and the lows of it all. So yeah, but now that obviously I'm getting some game time, it's just about making the most of it, and yeah, like I said, trying to cement my place in the team.
Is there a different mindset for a goalkeeper now, Michael, knowing that you've got that extra responsibility as the #1?
It is, and you know, I've had the privilege of working with Matty at Brisbane Roar, so in terms of him, his effort, his commitment, you can't question it. He's been waiting a real long time, and it's difficult when you train all week with the group and then you know, OK, the only way I'm going to play is if our goalkeeper gets sent off or through injury and whatnot. So it is to continually back up, but whenever Matty's been called upon, he's always delivered. He's done a great job for the team, so it's his opportunity now to take and say, you know what, this #1 jersey's mine, and I want to make sure that I grasp it with both hands.
All right, let's have a look at the match day review, thanks to Barry Plant. Of course, on Saturday night, a youthful Melbourne Victory team took on Western United, and gee, they gave them a real scare towards the end. It was lots of encouraging signs for the young boys, especially, that came on.
Yeah, plenty of positives. I'm sure Grant will be super pumped with the effort. Obviously, the result didn't go, but as we see in the stats here too, Zappa, it was quite an even game. You know, Marco Rojas had a good chance early on to make it 1-0. That goes in, it's a different ball game. But I think, considering, you know, we blooded so many young boys, by the end of the game, I think there was 4 or 5 players on the pitch, and I tell you what, they never dropped their heads once. They kept on going, and you know, we got back in the game 2-1, and we could have gotten a result by the end of it.
Before the game, Grant Brebner spoke about the youth, giving them an opportunity. We saw quite a few of them get their chance. What did you make of some of the young boys and their impact on the game?
Well, we look here, there's 10 boys under the age of 20. So they'll be given an opportunity, and it's for them to take it. And I'll tell you what, Grant, seeing last game, he's going to take plenty of positives. And if anything, he'll be saying, guys, this is the benchmark. This is what to expect. You know what? Can you go to the next level? You belong here. You've shown that. Now really grasp the next 4 games and show to us that you deserve to be part of this group moving forward. So they'll take plenty of confidence from that, and I'll be really looking forward to tonight's game.
Having a look at some of those ages, 18 years of age, a lot of them. I reckon a lot of them were still watching Peppa Pig when Lee Broxham made his debut for Melbourne Victory. He's 32 odd now, isn't he, Broxy? So fantastic to see the next generation of Melbourne Victory players coming through. Just a quick summary on the game. What did you think of Grant Brebner and the way he approached it, and what would he take out of that game against Western United?
Yeah, look, there would have been nerves going into the game, having such a long layoff, the unknowns, but in saying that, I think they grasped the opportunity. They played to the structures that Grant's trying to implement now. We've seen, his messaging has been, can we get the ball as quick as we can to the front 3? And on a number of occasions, they tried to do that. Now, what I'd be saying is, can we have that sustained period where we've got the ball dictating the game to the opposition? Can we sustain that for a longer period and build on that last week's performance with obviously trying to get the result as well?
All right, well, we saw some of these youngsters make a big impact on Saturday night. Let's find out a little bit more about 2 of them. Birkin Kerdar and Lewis Laurie Latanzio caught up with them a little bit earlier in the week.
My name is Birkin Kerdar, I'm 18 and my position is midfield.
I'm Lewis Laurie Latanzio, I'm 18 and I play attack.
I started playing at Essendon Royals, then I made my move to Hume City, and then from there I went to the Vic team and was there for 3-4 years, then Victory picked me up.
I started my footballing journey in Adelaide, that's where I'm originally from, playing juniors at Ingle Farm, Raiders, and then moved to Metro Stars where I spent most of my junior career. And then I moved to the SANTC. From there I went to Adelaide United 20s and then finally to Victory. It's been a long journey.
From the youth to the seniors is a major step up. It's been a hard period, but it's been an also enjoyable period.
From this whole experience with trainings with the senior team, it's all about being quick with everything off the ball, thinking quick. It's been challenging. There's been times where I felt good, I felt bad as well, but it's just a whole learning curve, I guess.
Brebsy was my coach when I first came here, so I have automatically a good connection with him. And he's been unreal to all of us, especially myself. I enjoy training with him. Very good coach.
What a special moment it is for another youngster.
The whole experience of coming on off the bench was big for me because 1 year ago, around this time, I was just playing soccer kind of for fun, and it's a big turnaround, and to come on for Melbourne Victory, one of the biggest clubs in Australia, it's an honour really. Mum and Dad were both watching. Mum's Aboriginal, Dad's Italian, and that's where I get some of my sporting abilities from, I guess, both sides.
He's a very humble and a gullible person. He's very gullible.
Burks is one of a kind. He's funny, he's gullible as well, always mucking around. But when it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious, and he knows when to turn the switch. I'm 2-0 up at pool at the moment, so I'm better, but he's got me on table tennis, that's for sure.
A huge night for those 2 young men on Saturday night, even bigger tonight. Let's see what they're made of. We look forward to seeing them in action. We also look forward to tuning in on Fox Sports tonight and KO and the Telstra Football My Live app. Tara Rushton will be on the sideline for Fox Sports at Bankwest Stadium. She joins us now. Hello, Tara.
Hello. Hi, gents. Great to see you. It's been too long.
I know. Well, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about what it's like there. There's been plenty of football on Bankwest, but it looks like from here at least that it's holding up okay.
Yeah, a whole lot of football. The Festival of Football play predominantly here at Bankwest Stadium. The pitch behind me looks fantastic. You've got Bozza and Robbie Slater and the whole gang actually standing out here taking a bit of a pitch inspection in. It's looking great. The turf's really held up and the weather, it's been really beautiful, perfect conditions of football. It's about 13 degrees down here tonight. They're saying there could be scattered showers at the moment. No rain around whatsoever. It's clear, it's crisp and not too breezy at all, gents. So beautiful night for football. Looking forward to it.
And Tara, I was going to say, you must be excited being back, and obviously the touchline there, the A-League back, full of swing of things. What's your take, I was going to say, on Brisbane Roar? There's obviously been a lot of change with Robbie Fowler moving on and Warren Moon now the head coach. What do you think? How do you think it's going to play out in tonight's game?
Yeah, look, we obviously got a bit of a chance to see the first game under Warren Moon when Brisbane Roar played Adelaide United. Pretty close. I think Brisbane really deserved to win that game. They had 60% possession and a lot more shots on target. And if it wasn't for Paul Izzo, they would have won that game. Sorry, you probably did notice the light change before. Talking about Warren Moon, though, he doesn't want to change too many things, really. They're still going to build up from the back and really stick to the same philosophy. It's such a short turnaround and short number of games. So the plan wasn't that he comes in and changes things and creates too much, I guess, newness for the side. But, you know, there's a real, I guess, Queensland flavour to what he's going to do to this side. He was part of the general manager of Brisbane Roar's academy, really successful coach in the NPL with Lions FC, and one of the players that has come in and he's brought across, Danny Kim, will also feature tonight and make a starting debut. So I don't think there'll be a host of changes. It'll be very, very similar, and another chance to get a look at that tonight.
Tara, we thank you for your time. I know the Victory boys are now out of quarantine, so they're looking for some local knowledge. I'm sure you'll help them with that whilst you're over there.
Oh, look, we know what's happening over in Victoria. I'm thinking of you guys, actually. Just stay safe, and I hope all your families are well and safe. But there's no tour guides here, no.
And Boz is there, as so is Speedy. So we look forward to round 2 of the Speedy v Bozza tonight as well on Fox Sports.
It is round 2, so that'll be quite interesting. Of course, commentator v expert. So we'll see how that plays out in commentary, gents.
Good on you. Thank you, Tara. You've been generous with your time. Tune in to tonight on Fox Sports and KO for all the action. Let's look now at the starting lineups of both sides. Thanks to Metricon Homes, here are our starting 11s. And 2 changes, Michael, to the starting 11 for Melbourne Victory tonight compared to Saturday night. And we spoke about one of the young boys. He gets his opportunity to start from the top tonight. Luis Laurie Latanzio, his first start. What a big night it is for him.
Yeah, how special. You always remember your debut, Zappa. Obviously came off the bench in last games, but he'll be really looking forward to tonight and obviously building on that form that he showed on Saturday. And as we see here, Lee Broxham obviously giving him his jersey. Again, a special moment, and we wish him well. I'm sure he will do well. And another one that comes into the lineup as well is Jay Barnett. And he's been in and out. He's had a few games for Melbourne Victory, and I remember him at my time at Brisbane Roar as well. So he's another really good young player. So again, we're going with the youthful look. Grant's obviously wanted to freshen up a tad, but I'm really looking forward to this starting 11.
And Aaron Anderson was pretty impressive as well, wasn't he, on Saturday night? He gets his opportunity again this evening from the start.
Exactly right. It's great to see as well for him. He'll have a few games on the bounce and he'll only grow into that position. He's such a big lad, calm on the ball, and he gets stuck in, which I love. And it's great that he's got the experience next to him and obviously Lee Broxham playing in front as well as screening. So, no, it's good to see him doing well and all the young boys as well.
Melbourne Victory have a very good record against Brisbane Roar of late. So they have won their last 4. Michael, let's see how Warren Moon lines up his starting 11 this evening. And a couple of changes for them as well when we look at their last game. But Danny Kim was the player that he's brought in from the NPL in Queensland. We've seen a little bit of him in the FFA Cup.
Yeah, he's obviously come in as well. They'll be disappointed with last result against Adelaide United. They did perform quite well, but obviously lost 1-0. So they're going to be really looking forward to tonight's game and trying to get maximum points. But I tell you what, from a Melbourne Victory perspective, we really got to look after the wing backs because Jack Hingett and Corey Brown, they really like to bomb on and create overloads 2v1. So Traore for us and Storm Roo are going to have very good games, and also from an attacking perspective, when Melbourne Victory get their ball in the defensive third, they've got to look up, and what Grant's trying to implement is hitting that front 3 as quick as we can. So hopefully we see it translate to what we built on the last game Saturday night till tonight.
When we have a look at the team's record so far this season, it's not dissimilar the way that the two teams of their seasons have panned out. They've both scored 25 goals. Raw have a few more shots at goal and on target, but not a lot splits these two teams. And when you look at the previous record, how much does the players and coach think about that going in? It must give you a bit of confidence coming into tonight.
It does. It sure does. Obviously, Melbourne Victory have won the last 4 against Brisbane as well, which they will take confidence into that. But in saying that as well, it's quite a new team. We've had the whole COVID, suspension of the league, and now we've just got them back. So, look, you take a bit of confidence going into that, but it's about doing the business tonight.
All right, let's hear from the head coach now, Grant Brebner, thanks to Barry Plant. We caught up with him a little while ago.
Well, Grant, thanks very much for joining us. We're back here at Bank West Stadium. How's the mood amongst the group?
Yeah, the mood's good, Chris. We've had a few days since the game on the weekend, and while the result wasn't what we wanted, we focused on a lot of positivity that we can take from that game, and we're up against similar formation again tonight, so we've not had to look too far ahead, and we can have the same sort of structure as we did on the weekend.
What were some of the positives that came out of the Western United game?
Just the way the boys finished the game, I think. We probably didn't put ourselves, like I said, we didn't put ourselves under enough pressure to get on the ball. That was one disappointing area for me. But towards the end, I think we saw that we started enjoying the ball. We started to get more players wanting the ball. Our fitness levels were good towards the end of the game. I've really pushed that on the players that we don't wait till we go a goal behind. I want it from the outset and putting themselves on notice to get on the ball.
Laurie Latanzio starts tonight. How did you assess his cameo performance?
Yeah, look, he's done really well in the youth team, as I've mentioned before. He came on the weekend and he impacted the game, and that's what I want. I just want players that have a real impression on the game, a real footprint on the game, and if they do that in training, they'll play. Doesn't matter, as I said, what age they are. So Lewis is deserving of his start, and while I'm not putting any pressure on him, if he plays to his high level, then he'll cause problems tonight.
Lawrence Thomas obviously left the club midweek. A real opportunity for Matt Acton in goal.
Yeah, sure, and Matt's been an understudy for a while now, but an equally capable goalkeeper. I have no fear in putting Matty in goals. He didn't do anything wrong on the weekend, wasn't at fault for any of the goals, and he is our first line of defence, getting us out and getting us on the front foot. I ask him to play quickly and get our full-backs on the ball quickly, and he's been doing that in training. He's done it on the weekend, so yeah, Matty will do well for us, I've no doubt about that.
And finally, Brisbane Roar, what kind of threats do they pose?
Yeah, look, their threats is, they're very similar in their structure to Western United. I think their game plan is more of a team plan. They play through the thirds very well. O'Shea will cause us problems if he gets on the ball in time and space. Winslow Hall in behind. If we give Gillespie time to get his head up and find passes, there's lots of areas if you go through the thirds that they can hurt us. But as I said, they set up the same as Western United, which doesn't cause us too many problems in terms of how we will set up. But we've got to be on the front foot and winning the ball and counter-attacking very quickly.
Thanks very much. All the best for tonight, Brebsy.
Thank you, Chris.
The clear message from Grant Brebner: get on the ball, make an impact. Let's see if this young Melbourne Victory side can do that from the outset. Time now to see how they might be able to do that with our Barry Plant match preview. And we've got Michael Theo, who's been doing a little bit of homework during the week since Saturday night. At the big screen, Michael, you've picked out some moments from Saturday night, and starting with Andrew Naboot, who was influential, especially early on.
Yeah, exactly right, Zappa. We look here now, we see Cam Soda on the ball, and his first thought is, can I play a forward passing ball to my front three? In this occasion, he thought, you know what, I'm just going to play a short one here to Andrew, and Andrew's going to play a ball in behind the defence, which we see Western United have got quite a high line. And again, great run from Marco Rojas just to run between the centre-backs. This is probably a better angle. We'll see here, fantastic run in front. And this is 6 minutes in. Marco goes across the goalkeeper, and he was unfortunate not to score and put us ahead.
That pace of the front three, it's a pretty quick front three, and Grant Brebner spoke about it, didn't he, in the lead-up to the game on Saturday night. It's something that they probably didn't exploit enough of.
No, again, that was the first 5 minutes. We put away that opportunity to, it's a different ball game, but he's going to want to see more of it. And tonight's going to be a perfect example. We touched on it, similar formation as to Brisbane Roar, and again, there's going to be those wide areas we can really take advantage of.
So the next one's Basher, who starts the next one?
Yeah, again, Basher's on the ball. He's highlighted here, and again, he's first thought is, can I play the ball over the top? Western United, again, high line over here. Again, which the thing I like about this is they're in two minds. They're thinking, okay, every time Melbourne Victory get the ball, they're going to play the ball over the top. We're going to have to drop deeper and deeper. And then what happens there is that, in other times, we can then play through the line. So again, it keeps them guessing. But initially, we want to get the ball as quick as we can to the front three. And Andrew Naboo, another fantastic forward run. He gets in behind the defence. The only thing I'll say here is Andrew gets the ball and we don't have enough blue shirts in the box. We see here, Rojas is here, and then we've got 3 Western United defenders. So we need more players coming into the box to help get a shot off.
The next piece features Birkin Kurda, a young boy who played just his second game in the Hyundai A-League. The number 10 role, Michael, a huge responsibility on his shoulders, but he was pretty impressive. He was, and I'll tell you what, for a second gamer, he didn't look out of place, put it that way. He always wanted the ball. He said, give me the ball, I'll dictate the play. And even whether it was in the front third or the back third, again, Grant Brebner's messaging coming out. He's on the ball and he's back third. Nice diagonal ball here to, again, Andrew Naboo making a fantastic run. I'll tell you what, he's done fantastically well to bring it down here. And again, he's got to look up and see who's in the box. On this occasion, again, it's Rojas. Andrew was sort of in two minds here. Do I shoot? Do I get across? It's sort of an in-betweener. But over here, if we see this run here, it's a fantastic run. He just has to square it off and Rojas has got to tap in goal. The next one features Kurda again, and I like this one. It tells us a little bit about the personality that Birkin Kurda has in his DNA. It does, and it says that I belong here. Give me the ball. I want it. And again, Broxton picks it up here and finds Kurda. We'll see when we start the footage. He's got the ball, but he's saying to his players around him, this is where I want you to run. He's got the audacity to point and say, Adama, I want you overlapping, which Adama does, and fantastic. On this occasion, we get 4 players in the box. Goal-scoring opportunity. The only thing I'll say there is we need to be attacking. We need to be making attacking runs. When we're standing still, it's easier for the opposition to mark us. The last 10 minutes of the game really highlighted the impact of the young players, didn't it? And Luis Laurie Latanzio came on and described it as an impact role, and it was. He made an impact in that short time. And that's all you can ask about. You know, every substitution that needs to come on needs to make an impact. And I'll tell you what, he took his chance in the 10 or odd minutes that he had. We look at this footage over here. Again, he receives the ball. At the time, we'll play the footage here. It's a square ball from Barnett. He's taken a touch. It's just underneath. He's sort of like dragged it along with these studs, and with short minimal of backlift, he's just gotten a shot off, which has forced a great save from Curdo, but that's a fantastic strike. And that's so hard to do with no momentum going forward to get that power. Philip Curdo, that was an excellent save. It was, and that would have got us back in the game. That would have made it 2-1. So I know the messaging will be from Grant this week is, you know, you're going to get your opportunity. Every time you get a chance, you see the goal, I want you to have a strike. And I'll tell you what, with shooting like that, he'll be causing all sorts of problems for Brisbane. And that injection of enthusiasm led to the goal in the end. DeMarco Rojas from the set piece and a terrific finish from Storm Roo. It was, and Storm Roo playing in his 150th game. It just goes to highlight how important set pieces are. We conceded 5 minutes before the first half, and that sort of deflated us going into the half-time break. And you've got to be switched on, whether they're defensively or attackingly. What I'll highlight here is Storm Roo, he sees there's space in the near post. This is a Western United player. He's facing his own goalkeeper. He switched off for me. And obviously Rojas has seen that and he thought, you know what, I'm just going to float a ball into the space here. Storm Roo gets in front of the 2 defenders. Again, fantastic header, just to head it to the back post. Obviously no one there. Glancing header. Fantastic goal, and that got us back in the ball game. 2-1, all of a sudden we lift. And what I did like as well was the fact that we didn't switch off. We were 2-0 down. We didn't drop our heads with a young team, especially towards the end. Zappone, I think we had 5 young boys playing, but to their credit, they kept going, and Grant would have loved that. They got us back in the ball game, and we could have gone on and forced the result. I reckon you're going to get a phone call from Bessart Barisha tonight. You just said that he was the one slacking off at that corner piece. Wait till you get off here. I'm sure the phone will be ringing. Thank you for the insight, Michael. Brilliant. And we look forward to doing that again in the next couple of shows. Let's continue our match preview now. Thanks to Barry Plant, and we hear from Andrew Naboo.
Brisbane tonight, short turnaround. How's the mood in the camp?
Yeah, I mean, we're quite good. We obviously had a disappointing result on the weekend, but first game back in 4 months, there was a lot of positives to take from it, and the boys are, up and ready to go again tonight.
What kind of threats do you think Brisbane will pose for us?
Obviously, they're a very different team to what we faced, earlier on in the season. Obviously, we'd beat them in that game, but, they've changed a lot of players. They've changed their structure, and they've improved a lot, and that's why they're in the the finals spots. So we're expecting a tough game against them. Obviously, they've been able to. I believe they've been able to train the whole time through this pandemic. So for us, it's about absorbing whatever pressure they're going to put on us, and trying to expose them the other way and get some goals early.
What's been the focus of the last few days in training?
Just more so breaking down, that back eight that they sort of play with. They've got 5 at the back and the 3 midfielders. So once we get past their front line, it's going to be a little bit tough to break down. We know, as it was against Western United. Once we got a few balls in behind, it was tough because they sat deep, and we had to try and break them down. So we're expecting much of the same tonight, and we've been working on that in training. So hopefully we can recreate it, and like I said, expose them in areas where we believe we can hurt them.
Thanks very much. All the best tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting insight from Andrew Nabu. Do you expect Brisbane to sit deep and make it hard for Victory to break them down, or given Victory's young side, Brisbane will come at them?
I think Brisbane Roar will want to come at them. As I said, they're disappointed with last week's result, but they're going to really want to start brightly, get on the ball and put Victory under pressure. But from Melbourne Victory, they have to weather the storm. When we haven't got possession, we're going to have to defend well in numbers. But when we've got it, knock it about, get the confidence up, and then stick to our structures and try to play the way, create as many chances as possible.
All right, we've had plenty of good feedback from our fans and lots of questions as well. As I said at the start of the show, $100 to a couple of questions that we've picked out. So thanks to Barry Plant. I know Jimmy Hatsamosis at Barry Plant's going to put his hand in his own pocket and hand out $100 to these next 2 people. Josh O'Connor, congratulations, Josh. We've picked up your question. Out of the young kids, who looks the most exciting to you you've seen this season?
Look, I'll have to go with young Burkham Curter. He's really surprised me. I'll be honest, I didn't know much about him, but I tell you what, seeing him that last game, as I mentioned, it's his second game and he's telling players where to run. He wants the ball. He always gets himself in good positions, in nice pockets where he can get it and cause the opposition trouble. I love it. He's a talented boy. I love his enthusiasm. It was great to see an insight too, Zappa and the boys away from the field and get their real character. And they're just young. They're just happy to be a part of this environment. And I think he can really thrive in it.
Yeah, he's got lots about him. Our next question comes from Jared. Congratulations to you, Jared. Thanks to our matchday partner, Barry Plant Real Estate. What do you think the Victory should look to get out of the next few games of the season?
Well, it's a matter of blooding these young boys through, giving them as much exposure to the A-League and seeing whether or not they cope with it. As I said, you can train all you want, but once it's game time, you see how you react. And, for them, it's going to be a good marker to see, OK, we finished off the season well. Again, you're playing for Melbourne Victory, arguably the biggest club in the land, and every time you go, you've got to put in a performance. And for them, it's just a matter of gaining that experience and that belongingness. You know what, I belong here. And moving forward, whichever coach comes in, they want to put a claim to say that, you know what, I want to be part of this team moving forward.
Well, thank you to everyone who submitted their questions tonight, and thank you to everyone who tuned in. Before we go, Michael, we know Victory's got a very good record against Brisbane this season. When you look at their scoring record, outscored Brisbane 12 goals to 3 in their last 4 encounters. Can they continue it tonight, do you think?
It's going to be tough. I hope it's a high-scoring game, Zappa. I might have to sit on the fence this one. Obviously, my 2 old teams, so I might get a few calls from Queensland, and they've already shut the borders on us, so I won't be allowed back. But it's going to be entertaining, and I think there'll be plenty of goals.
Well, if you don't tip Melbourne Victory, I will. Victory to win 2-1 tonight. You tipped 2-1 the other night, didn't you?
I did, yes. Yeah. I'll go a draw, 2-2 draw.
2-1 for me, and one of the young boys to score, I reckon Luis Latanzio, to get the winner for Melbourne Victory tonight. Thank you again for tuning in. We look forward to doing it all again on Monday night. Victory take on the Central Coast Mariners. How good is this? You go home for the next 11 days, you can watch A-League football. Tonight is the start of 11 consecutive days of A-League.
It's a football feast, and that's what we want. We can't wait, and it's been coming thick and fast, and we love it. Bring it on.
On behalf of me, Michael Zappone, and Michael Theo, and all the crew in here, thanks for tuning in again. Thank you to Metricon Homes and our matchday partner tonight, Barry Plant Real Estate. We will see you again on Monday night. Don't forget, tune in Fox Sports for all the action tonight in the Hyundai A-League.